The tabletop takeaway.
Game mechanics on display.
Three designers share the stage.
Pick a genre and we'll play.
The tabletop takeaway.
Welcome back to the Tabletop Takeaway. I'm Ananda Gunaratna.
I'm Charlie McCarran.
And I'm Trevor Muller-Hagel.
And today, continuing in our series on drafting games, we are talking about the Banishing.
The Banishing.
So the Banishing is a game, a co-op game, where we are working together to banish the undead from our world by completing a magical ritual. The way the game works is each player has a special class, like fighter or bard or witch.
Brute.
Yeah. Or sorcerer, which was what I was. And each class has 6 unique actions that only they can take, which they take by playing sets of cards with either the same color or the same color and the same symbol, where there are 3 different symbols. The way you get these cards is there are 9 cards in the center of the table, and on your turn, you draft 3 of them, 3 from a row or a column. You just take all 3. Basically, your turn is you take 3 cards, and then you can play a set of cards to take an action. And there are also some actions that you can take without playing any cards. But the catch is, in addition to these resource cards with symbols that you can use to use your actions, there are also enemy undead in the center. And if you choose a row or column with undead, you gain all those undead as wounds. And if you gain too many wounds, you die. So
You also lose an ability if you lose just enough. Or you lose
right,
your
yeah.
abilities.
You have 2 numbers. There's your stamina and your health. And if your wounds go above your stamina, which is much lower than your health, you lose your special abilities and can only use some very generic abilities, one of which is resting to get rid of wounds. And if you then continue to accumulate damage and it gets to your health, you die and we all lose. Now, the way that you progress towards victory is you need to collectively, everyone together, get 10 cards into the Banishing, which is an area off to the side of the board. And each player has exactly one ability that allows them to put cards into the Banishing. So, for example, in our game, my ability was quite simple. It just let me put the weakest undead into the Banishing.
Mine as the bard was I get to put all the green circles that are out there.
That are in the center, yeah.
Yeah.
Which could be a lot, or it might be very hard to do it.
Yeah. It's kind of fun to try to get those out there onto the table. And like, guys, don't take those.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'll be able to do something with them.
And mine was to move a red card to the Banishing, which felt less effective, but it wasn't bad.
You had other abilities to make up for it, though.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
I think one pretty cool... Is that everything that we need?
Yeah.
There's also 3 rounds. Each round, we get more powerful enemies added to the deck.
Yes. And interestingly, we don't really get stronger in between rounds.
No, we don't level up at all.
Yeah. Players do not progress over the course of the game, but the enemies do.
We might get gear. We might get some equipment.
Yes.
Maybe.
But generally, you get that very early in the first round.
And most of that's one-time use, except for one item.
Yeah. Well, it's one-time use. It'll cycle back into the deck, of course, in between rounds. But yeah, so very interesting. In most co-op games, I think in co-op games of this sort, I think there's often some element of player progression. As players getting stronger. That is not the case in this game.
Nope. We are characters that are doing a thing, and it's like a one-night kind of thing, so there's no improvement.
Yeah, which means since the enemies are getting stronger, you really want to win as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lucked out where we didn't even get into the 3rd round, thankfully, because that was going to be real scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was cool as a co-op draft game because I was trying to think of other co-op drafting games, and like Mechs versus Minions came to mind. That one we are all like quickly drafting.
Yeah.
This one we had more time to think about it and talk about what to do.
Sure.
Which was kind of a fun puzzle in itself. Like, ooh, what if if Trevor takes this pile, but then he'll take a wound, he'll get over his
Yeah.
stamina, so he'd lose his abilities and whatever. Yeah, I thought that was kind of a fun thing to chat about.
Yes. Well, also, I think one of the big things that distinguishes drafting in this game from drafting in Mechs versus Minions is Mechs versus Minions is a very standard draft. Like, there are cards, some of us maybe want some of the cards, other people want other cards. It isn't really that cooperative. You might even clash on, I want that card, you want that card too. In this game, what I really like about it is in the drafting, there is an element of cooperation in that, if I can see a monster, and, you don't want to take monsters, they're bad, but you think about your allies and you think, well, okay, they might not be able to deal with that. So I should deal with that for them so that they'll have an easier time on their turn. It really does a good job of giving you a way to draft to help other people.
Yeah.
Which is very unique because usually in drafting games, the only time you think about other people when drafting is to hurt them.
Yeah.
I think
Those
this is
7 Wonders earlier when we were talking about
yes.
that. Yeah.
This is the only drafting game I can think of where you draft bad things to help out the other players so
You
that
take
they don't
the hit for the team.
Yeah, so that they don't
Yeah.
have to do it, which I think is pretty cool.
Especially when you're like a tank character and like that's your role is to
Yeah.
like take on those hits.
Yeah, like Trevor, that was kind of your character.
Yeah. Yeah. He had a high health, but the stamina wasn't as equally high. It was a little bit less too. But thankfully getting armor helped me kind of bolster that a little bit. But yeah, it was good.
What would be fun? I might want to try a game like this where it's a pick and pass, but you are co-op pick and pass, and you have to take bad things at some point. So
there's good and bad things in the hand.
Yep.
And so then you're like, okay, well, we definitely want some good things, but then I know like if I have like one that can take these hits, I'll take those hits so Ananda doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting.
And maybe the order in which you draft them would matter in that. Like, I'll take some hits early because of my character or whatever.
Sure.
That could be fun. And it would be pretty funny if when the cards are coming around and like someone passes you a hand, you're like, really? You didn't do anything about this?
You have full health. What the heck?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and so I think one other thing about the banishing, which we touched on a little bit, is all the characters have very different abilities.
Yeah.
And I think previously we've talked about how in co-op games, it's really good for everyone to have unique abilities because it means that everyone can feel like they're contributing something unique to the group effort.
Well, and we have the thing where we have hidden information from each other. We have our hand.
Yeah.
And so there's no quarterbacking at all. It's like, hey, can you do something like this? Hey, all right, well, okay, wait, guys, I can do something. Don't do this. Oh, yeah, sure, okay. And like you're actually working together, which is really hard to design in a lot of co-ops.
Yeah. And it's interesting because the hidden information is very loose. Like, it says, okay, you can't show each other your hand, but you can say whatever you want.
Right.
Basically.
But like, and I think memorizing what someone says, like, you're not going to do that. You're just going to trust them that they're giving you the relevant information when you need it.
Yeah. I kind of like that, rather than trying to make some convoluted rule about, you're allowed to discuss this, but not this.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, you can't show each other your hand. If you want to say everything that's in your hand all the time, go ahead.
And you could have 8 cards in your hand, but someone remembering every card that you said you had or every combination, like, oh no, that's that's painful. Why do that?
Just hiding it from vision seems to be enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Bard ability, the only one I didn't really want to use ever, even though it seemed powerful, was to gossip. And that meant like we could all exchange cards freely amongst each other.
Yeah.
Which sounded like
really powerful.
That'd be a lot of figuring out what.
It's like, okay, what do you guys have? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if there's anything, I mean, it's not a recommended starting character, so maybe we shouldn't have done that. But
we still won.
I thought our characters seemed fine.
Yeah.
We could have used more healing potentially, but we still got it fine.
Yep. Yeah, just if anything, like at first it felt like, wow, there's a lot of abilities to do a lot of combos, which is interesting because it really is. There's not that many rules, but
no, and it's really like a little bit more of a cosmic encounter where your character gives you all of the unique rules for your character.
Yeah.
So like you have this list, and I always assume the rarer an action is, the stronger it should be.
Yeah.
but this didn't seem to necessarily follow that to a T.
Yeah, it's not always the case.
Yeah, because I like had some basic abilities that were more useful or had higher utility than the more advanced ones, which meant that I could be a little bit more loose about what I picked up. I didn't have to be as strict about it.
Yeah. They're more useful in certain contexts.
Exactly, yeah. And like some of it, like, one of them I think was slash, and slash for the brute meant that I discarded an undead and each adjacent card to that undead. Now, that could be all, like, good cards that we'd want, so maybe that's bad. Mm-hmm. But when I used it, it was when it was all undead.
Yeah.
Which is super great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It feels very satisfying to clear the board of undead.
Oh, yeah. Especially being able to replace all the undead with cards from the discard. That was my special.
That was amazingly
saved
good.
us twice.
Yes.
I think my takeaway is the fact that we were using a 3x3 grid, and you draft a row or column.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of games that do stuff like that, I suppose. But the idea of drafting more than one thing at once, I think is nice and makes you feel more strategic. Like games like Azul let you do that. You take a big clump of four things from the draft pile. But the fact that what we draft will affect our cooperative partners, makes it more interesting than just like hate drafting, like you said.
Right.
It's love drafting, maybe.
Love drafting.
The opposite of hate drafting, right? I think
that's a good game tagline right there.
I think that might be my takeaway. Honestly, just
love drafting.
Yeah, sure. Love drafting. The idea of drafting to help other people by getting rid of things that will hurt them if they have to draft them.
Things that you are maybe better suited to take than they are as well.
It feels very nice in a co-op game to be able to protect your allies like that by taking the hits.
Absolutely.
For them.
Yeah, I think for my takeaway, so I'm not going to do a takeaway right now. I'm going to talk about how I love that the theme came through really well for me, despite it not having a lot of like crazy theme going on. Like it's just like shapes and colors with monsters with health.
Very, very simple shapes too. The monsters are just silhouettes.
They're just silhouettes of monsters. They have damage that they'll do to you. There's no text. There's no nothing. But I was
joking that it reminded me of Ananda's prototypes using GameIcons.net icons. That's pretty much what they look like.
Yeah.
But in the abilities we had, they were so thematic to that kind of character. It felt like, at least to me, that like, okay, with that health and, having these things, it actually really came through and like, okay, I'll take that row and then I'll be able to deal damage to all these undead. And that's my role as the brute, is to do this and do that. And it's like, it just felt like it really synced up. I wish I knew like a good takeaway that I could take from that would be like more ubiquitous, more applicable to more things. It's just a very good job.
Well, here's a takeaway suggestion.
Thank you. Yes,
that I'm thinking of. The fact that just giving an ability a name, can help a lot.
Add that flavor.
Yeah, like I don't know if they all necessarily matched up well with the mechanic.
There were some that were a little funky,
but overall, like just giving something a name, people feel like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a fireball.
I
felt super good when I did the fireball,
and it looked like a fireball, right? Because it's an area of effect. It was 2x2 grid. Yeah. That's like, oh yeah, that was a fireball.
It was definitely a fireball.
Yeah. Yeah, and my rage would just like, I would just rage at all of the things, and all the undead, they just all go away.
Yeah.
It's like, great.
So
just being able to add that little bit in there. And I think, we talked about it a little bit during Netrunner, but having things in the rules or having things in the book that just correlate to the theme and what's going on, I think can really just increase that integrated feeling of being in that world.
Mm-hmm.
So basically name your abilities.
Yeah, name your abilities. That's my takeaway.
Yeah. And if you're like Netrunner, name everything.
Every deck,
your hand is your grip.
I think
your deck is your
that might be a little further than you need to go.
I don't know about that. I think I think for game terminology, you should use words that are easy to understand.
Your deck.
But then
think it's fine.
But then see, then your unique abilities, that's when you give them the name. So
Yeah,
like,
that's when you get
you
the
know,
flavor.
your burn ability doesn't say like
Heal 2 cards.
I'm trying to think of a fancy word for trash, but I can't. Like
I think void is one for one of the games.
yeah, void
Yeah.
2 cards from your grip.
Well, ironically, the middle is called the void.
In this game,
But-
the
Yes,
middle is void.
that is
But
true.
what would that be called? There's not like a normal term for the center.
but
the grid, I don't know.
But
anyways,
I'm saying like you have an ability called, so you call the ability I don't know, brain burn or something, right?
Sure.
So the ability is called brain burn. The effect is discard 2 cards from your hand. It is not void 2 cards from your grip.
And also, this game had banish and discard. Oh, discard is not banishing.
Yes.
Keeping that separate,
Right.
keeping that
They're
identifiable.
2 very different things.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I think when you're naming things, basic game terms should be as obvious as possible.
Yes.
Special abilities should have names, but the abilities should be described in terms of the sensible game terms.
Yeah.
I think that's how naming should work.
yeah.
That is a fair addendum to my takeaway. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Don't
been
go
thinking
wild
of-
and
yeah.
just name everything.
Name everything.
Don't name.
I've been thinking about this a lot as I'm writing like final rule books for a Floodgate project, and like, should I capitalize these terms or not? And
Yeah.
there's
The
a
draw
lot.
deck, the discard deck, the secondary draw deck, the group draw deck. When you start going into that, maybe start having names for the draw decks.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. But if there's just one deck, just call it the deck. Doesn't need a
The
special
deck.
name.
The grid.
Well, I like that we went on this
This fun little tangent.
linguistic tangent, rules tangent. Trevor, did you actually say a takeaway? We just
Yeah, it
he
was
did.
the naming
He did the
thing.
the
naming
naming.
thing.
That's
Okay,
how we got
well,
on this
I
tangent.
gave it to you.
Right. So I took it and agreed with you.
Okay,
that
that's
was
all
good.
right. You can take things that people
You
give
can
to
take
you.
my takeaway.
My takeaway from Charlie's takeaway for me was that I agreed with his idea for my takeaway.
Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect.
So I think it's a great co-op game. I think the variability of the different characters is really a big part of what makes it so fun.
Yeah.
Just being able to show off your character's abilities and feel like you're really contributing to the team. And
Yeah, in a way that's unique to everyone else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, tune in next time for our bonus episode where we're going to wrap up our drafting series.
Hey, thanks for listening to The Tabletop Takeaway. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. So please tell your friends and visit our website at thetabletoptakeaway.com, where you can suggest games and mechanics for us to cover next on the show.